It's always a big honor and great pleasure to come to Bratislava, I must confess. Rarely I can tell it to so many people, but I always enjoy being in Bratislava. Apart from being with you, and I'm looking forward to discussions, I'm always moved. I feel at home. Sometimes I can say more at home than in Poland when I come to Slovakia, Czech Republic, or to Hungary. There must be something with Central European spirit in it. Anyway, I will try in my presentation to juggle different perspectives, both reflections, some more general, and some quite particular, quite detailed suggestions or experiences that I take from my work as a mediator. And this will be, as Kaya said, a bit of zoom in, but also zoom out. There was some marketing company that used this slogan, zoom in, zoom out. I will not advertise it here, but now I remember which one. Okay, let's start from a question to you. What do you see on the slide? Yeah, okay. Alpha male. Fear. No, no. Whatever. Maybe. I'm not sure if others are enjoying the same way. But yes, there are different perspectives. Some of us see a rat dancing, some of us see big boss and maybe a domination of one over others. It's up to us. The society in which we live might be looked at also from different perspectives, and I will try to convey some messages today which are in harmony with what we heard before from Kinga, from Julia, but also maybe some other points of view as well. So my presentation is titled Swarming Around, How to Handle Value Conflicts in Interactive Society. Because it seems to me that a lot of what we were talking about before was about values, conflicting values. This is at least my observation. This is something that bothers me a lot. And now, is it more obvious what is going on there? It is fight. I mean, no doubt, yes. This is the phase that we live in, the stage of a conflict called polarization, and this word has been used both in introductions today and invitations for this conference. So as if everybody agrees that this is a polarization phase of the world and our region as well, at least inside. We who deal with conflicts, we know that after polarization usually comes isolation and then destruction. So what we're gonna do, what we can do, is take some effort probably to possibly avoid the next two phases, isolation and destruction. Let's look briefly at the symptoms. This is my country, in Poland. Probably, definitely there will be not the whole list. Starting from other regions, how would you call the idea that you see here on this slide? What? It is shocking, yeah. Why is it shocking? Why to shock? Over 100 years ago, women burned their bra. Now they have to use more explicit ways to turn public attention on some issues. But generally, it is, for me, a symptom of a general cultural trend, which is that the public issues became private issues. It was not like this before, and now we have more and more of this. I will show something different as well. And now what you see? The intimacy. Who? Who is kissing who? And where? Okay. No, but close, very close. Two women, two lesbian women kiss each other in front of the Russian embassy in Warsaw. I said, yeah, very close. Private became public. We can see all those division lines in media, on the streets, in families as well, in communities. Many of them, not only, I will put more stress, more attention to most controversial ones, but you can easily name much more of them. And this tool serves to what purpose? Yeah, everything. But connected with what, generally? It's not a ticket. Camping. Yeah, cutting and screwing. Tailoring. I call it language surgeries. This is what is going on in Poland, but I'm pretty sure not only in Poland. And in some countries like US and Western Europe happened even before. And that's my thesis for today. For example, a fetus became a child. Yes, is it like the same in Slovakia or not? Abortion became killing children. Unborn child, on the other hand, became my belly, and I have a right to my belly. No, not me, but those who claim it, for obvious reasons. Yes. Coming strictly to Poland, April 2010, Smolensk. From one side is a tragic plane accident. The other side says deliberate coup d'etat. And this maneuvering, operating, surgering on public language has clear purpose, of course, is to manipulate people's minds and behavior. Not only electoral, which we were used to for many years. We could learn about it from Western countries. We could experience it from our 25 years old democratic experience. But now we see it even in much more intense degree, at least. Another dimension is like this. Woman, traditionally, cares about family. No, not anymore. Woman does unpaid services. That's also the change in language, that's change of perspective. Surgery on our minds is going on. Is it, I'm coming back to what Kinga was saying also, and Julia, is it that democratic instruments might be and are used against democracy to dismantle democracy? Why not? We saw it in 30th of 20th century. Maybe we can see it again. In Poland, we see a couple of, I would say, projected coup d'etat on democracy. But still, it did not happen, fortunately. For example, using the mechanism of civil disobedience, Polish doctors refused to apply the law on abortion, calling themselves conscientious objectors. There is a law, and for many years it was hardly applied, but this year, openly, it was refused to apply, and thousands of Polish doctors said, no, we're going to not apply the law anymore, because we believe in Roman Catholic religion. We will not do it anymore. Not that they will make abortion, of course not. They are allowed not to do, but we even will not tell women where they can do it, to which they are obliged by the law. Then, freedom of religion. Polish clergy calling for denial of state laws as created against the divine order. It's a public calling, not to respect, not to obey to the law because they are not according to the Roman Catholic religion. Finally, next instrument, defense of minority rights. There were massive street protests to register the Catholic TV station, which actually did not meet any criteria for registering, which before had only 4,000 viewers. But because it was proposed by the very influential priest, Tadeusz Rydzyk, it was registered. So they forced state institution to go against the law, which this institution, National Broadcast Agency, itself enacted. And then manipulating with law, the last category I would like to show here. So the law is good enough only when conforms to ideological convictions or beliefs. It applies to both parties, both sides of this discourse, the so-called conservative and the so-called liberal, which means that either it's not enough feminist or liberal or not enough Roman Catholic. And these two camps, two armies, keep fighting in the media, on the street, in families, and also in public spaces. Can you read and understand what is on this slide? What is the message? Exactly. It was a campaign launched by lay foundation, yes, so non-religious, rational, anti-clergy, anti-clerical foundation, association, and an NGO, which stirred a lot of protests. And finally, the local government in some cities where this campaign was going on decided to move it from the streets. There were billboards like this, only a couple of nights and days, and then we were removed by the local government decision. So this is even the state institutions become ideologized, if I may say like this, yes? Other symptoms is hate speech, yes? Rude, brutal language. Not only in buses, not only on the streets, also on TV, and of course on internet. Then moral blackmail. This is also used by both parties, both sides of this dispute. The so-called conservative or traditional and the liberal one, yes? Either you agree on violence, on domestic violence, or you are against traditional values of Polish family. Then dehumanization of those with opposing view, refusal of recognition of those who might differ in opinions. But my reflection is that after aggressive marketing of goods and services that we went through last 25 years, maybe we are now witnessing marketing of ideas as aggressive as before, as with the goods and services. So we're probably living in an age of dissensus, not consensus, but dissensus. Let's go like this. So if I'm not wrong, and I'm pretty sure this is the main discussion of the values going on. So the value conflicts are, for example, like this, between guilt and innocence, or what norms should prevail in a society, what beliefs are correct, and what facts should be recognized as valid. Finally, at the political level, what principles should guide decision makers. And this is an ongoing and very heated debate in my country now. What could be possible interventions in value-driven conflicts? from mediator's perspective, it is first translate value conflict into dispute of interest, if it's possible. Then avoid defining a problem in terms of values. So if you see that there is a value dispute, avoid as long as possible not to name it like this, not to label it as a value dispute, because this makes people's opinions more rigid than before. Allow parties to agree if they can, and also to disagree, to disagree. And finally, probably finally, no, not finally, but try to create spheres of influence comfortable for both parties, for all sides of a dispute, so that each system of values might dominate, might prevail in some areas. This is a very, for example, there's now over 4 years of a dispute whether we can build a memorial of the late Lech Kaczyński, the president who died in Smolensk. 4.5 years it took, and there is no decision. Why? Because there is a dispute about the territory, who trespasses whose territory. So the current power, current coalition does not allow to have this memorial built in the center of Warsaw, because also the coalition rules Warsaw, and they are not that tolerant, I would say, couldn't find a good word, to allow for the memorial in the heart of the capital. Finally, most on intervention, the most difficult part is to find a subordinate goal, the overarching goal that all parties could share and agree on. These are, but maybe also some other approaches to resolving value disputes. I would like to focus and say that for me, there is a very simple 3 commandments set of approaches. First, articulate, let people say freely what they want to say. Then understand, really, and translate between them. And third, show empathy. That you, as Julia said, even show empathy, try to understand the extremists. They're also human beings, they have their dignity, they have the right to live on this world. First, try to understand them. Now we are interactive, using internet very intensely. My thesis is that the degree of conflicts is, for us, by us, perceived as high because we have more freedom than before. And we have more spaces to use. And that's this impression, but I am enjoying that much and that level of freedom. I'm not regretting that we have this level of conflicts. From what I would say and I would identify myself is our task as civil organizations could be to minimize harm, wounds, and pain, which is changing relationship, not values. Let people stay with their values if they want to. Talk about possibilities of changing behavior, if it is possible, not changing values again. And very simple things, allow to get to know each other better. People start to listen, to like each other. And to this goal, the means is to create safe, neutral meeting spaces. Open, transparent, without media possibly. Sorry, I know, but we are closing. I'm closing space. I call it swarming around. I started from this. I see small, formal, informal NGOs, or I call it civic organisms, not organizations, swarming around from time to time in hives, like bees, you know? So they gather together for a moment, they fly to a certain direction, they take nectar, and they come somewhere else. We don't have to be stuck and wait until somebody would invite us. If we see conflict, we may just offer our presence. our neutral presence, I would say, yes. And that's it. I was running, sorry.